Okay. My name's Alexis Heavner. My address is 935 Brookdale Street. Was that all the information you asked for?
What did you say your address was?
Address?
Yes, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
935 Brookdale Street.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it? Okay. I'm here today to speak about my niece, Avion Dandridge, who was killed on July the 7th. So as everyone knows, no one's come forward with any information. We don't have like a suspected killer with a story that can like stand up in court. So right now my niece has been killed and nobody's having an answer for that. It weighs on our family every single day. Really, really difficult to deal with. And we've been trying to figure out the best way that we can advocate for Ivy and the best way that we can advocate for our community, because what happened to Ivy was ridiculous. I don't understand how that many shots get fired off in like a single home and it's not community outrage. I am just starting this process, and so we're gonna continue to go on with meetings and talk to different people and everything. So one thing that I know we can't necessarily ask for in such a small town, I guess, would be the age of open carry firearms. I understand that in the state of Virginia, even though you can't purchase a firearm until 21, like a handgun, you can carry one if an adult purchases one for you that's past 21. I get that the city can't do much about that. That's a big legislation thing. I wanted to ask that the city hold some kind of curfew until we get answers about Ivy's death. I don't see the need for anyone under 21 to run around past midnight even, but at least past 1 a.m. any day of the week. I think it's unsafe for them. I think it's unsafe for the community. The neighborhood that Ivy was shot and killed in, there's old people surrounding that. Imagine if this little old lady's just in her kitchen getting like a cup of water in the middle of the night and she's shot and killed. It's devastating. If the council has any suggestions for me about things that I could do or ways that I could advocate for the community or work with the community to try to help stop something like this from happening again, because it shouldn't have never happened, then I'm willing to take any suggestions. But yeah, thank you.
Let me give a suggestion.
Sure.
Just keep telling your story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a fair amount you can do, and this has potential to be a pretty vulnerable discussion. Obviously it is for you. It's as vulnerable as it can possibly get. For us, I feel like we've kind of not done everything we can do in the law enforcement realm, and that is not throwing shade at any law enforcement, but we got some policies, practices, procedures, approach to this stuff that we're not getting right. We're not getting right. And if y'all are wondering what my evidence is for that, a lot of times it's the same 2, 3, 4 people that are cycling in and out of these situations. We know who they are. We didn't dot an I, we didn't cross a T, so they're back out and they're doing it again. I cannot speak to the specifics, but I can absolutely guarantee you I can get you in touch with someone who's gone to the next level working on this, who shares your frustration. Certainly not your closeness to it, but your frustration. I believe he's working on bringing additional resources to help put an end to this, but something we have talked about, we got to figure out what we're doing with policing. So as a quick for instance for everybody here, if we know, and we do, if we can define what these folks are doing every night, we know where they come from, we know what their habits are, where they stop, what they drink. We know all those things, we should be able to define how we stop those things. So what I would like to see, if nothing else, is, okay, is there a manpower problem? Come to us and present to us, how many more officers do you need? Is there a process problem? Is it a software problem? Is it tools? Is it cars? Like, what is it? What do we need to do? Is it ordinances? Is it a curfew? We had talked, the city manager and I, about, I wanted to see at least 3 ordinances recommended to stop behavior like this. It might be serving alcohol after a certain time. It might be putting in a curfew. Just remember, speaking from my own kind of view of this community, when we start doing that, you almost start to seed a little bit of your soul. And you're saying this community cannot handle its behavior, so we need to put in rules to prevent people from living their lives. So it is going to be like a delicate balance of how do we put in rules that protect people and do the right thing, but we don't put a blanket approach in that punishes people who really didn't do any wrong. But my info is public, and I promise I'll find you, and I will ask the person I mentioned to get in touch with you.
Okay. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.